This segment is brought to you by Rouse's Markets. Feels like home. All right, welcome back. You know, we always invite candidates who are running for office to come on Bayou Time and sort of introduce themselves to our public, our quaint little public here in the South. And we want to welcome Dr. Sammy Wyatt. He's a candidate for U.S. Senate for Louisiana. And Dr. Wyatt, good to see you.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm honored and very pleasure to be here.
I met you at the Hero Fest.
Yes,
and of course, Anna was booking the time here. We appreciate you coming on. But just to let the public know, on his resume, Dr. Sammy Wyatt is a dedicated public servant whose life has been defined by a steadfast commitment to protecting and serving his community, state, and nation. And after high school, you enlisted in the U.S. Navy.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I was in the United States Navy, did my boot camp and A school in Great Lakes, Illinois, and spent the rest of my time in the big territory of Guam.
Yeah, well, thank you for your service.
During Desert Storm, and we had the nuclear submarines. I was on a submarine tender, and we would work on all the nuclear submarines in Desert Storm.
Wow. Now, what really impressed you put on your welding mask at one point.
I did after I left the Navy, and I started to work for Beard Industries, was a welder for about a little over a year until I started in law enforcement.
You pulled off that Mike Foster thing. Oh, God, remember that commercial he used to have where the welder was welding on the commercial and he flips the mask off and
that was good.
Mike Foster.
It was Mike Foster doing the welding.
That was pretty good.
That was.
That was ingenious marketing.
Yeah, I know it.
At the time. And then you went into law enforcement.
Yes, sir. I spent 20 years in law enforcement. Actually, a little over 20 years. I did reserves as well after I left full-time law enforcement. I earned my MBA while I was in law enforcement, bachelor's degree in criminal justice, master's in business administration, and then I took a job in the private sector for about 3.5 years until I went to LSU.
Yeah. You probably, well, Clay Higgins, that has a similar story, huh?
Yes, sir. Phenomenal man. Phenomenal man. He is a great patriot. He's a great fighter for the state of Louisiana and the United States. Love him to death.
Yeah, he's been on our show several times. All right, so then I want to get, because this sort of reminded me of Doge.
Yes,
that
sir.
You were pretty keen on finding out about reducing waste, finding fraud and abuse. So you were sort of doing what Doge was doing, right?
That's exactly what I do. I'm the Chief Compliance Officer and Chief Risk Management Officer for LSU Health Medical School in Shreveport, LSU Health. Mm-hmm. And before I went to LSU Health as the Chief Compliance Officer, I was Director of Internal Audit for LSU A&M in Baton Rouge. And I literally went to LSU A&M to start a fraud, waste, and abuse department inside internal audit. So I'm a certified fraud examiner, certified in compliance in different areas of compliance, and that's what I specifically do is fraud, waste, and abuse.
Now, I don't know you well, but I would assume if you're doing that kind of work, you're probably pretty meticulous.
I am very meticulous. Know how to read reports, write legislation, write policy and procedure. And as I tell everybody, you want to hire people who you can trust, but you always want to trust but verify. Yeah. Verify the information. And, you know, I support President Trump's DOGE program 100%. It's unfortunate that Bill Cassidy voted to not codify DOGE back in March. That would have been a tremendous asset for the United States, and we need to codify it and bring him back to where he should be.
So let me ask you, because obviously that's why you're running.
Yes, sir.
You differ from Senator Cassidy on some things. What are some of the things you differ from him with?
Well, he's, in my opinion, and not to slander him or not to talk anything bad, but he's just a rhino. He's a Republican in name only. He does what's best for him. He does what's best for his wallet and his retirement. He will vote, has voted. He voted to impeach President Trump. He's voted against President Trump even since this election that we are here fighting for. And so we need to stand firm with President Trump and his agenda, make America safe again, make America healthy again. Make America great again, physically responsible. I disagree with Senator Cassidy on just about every aspect, because he really should be running as a Democrat instead of running as a Republican.
Okay, let me ask you this. When did you make the decision that, most people, they gradually get to the point where they want to run for something. Somebody prods them, or they go to their local VFW and somebody said, you need to run. And they keep hearing it more and more and more until they finally run. What's your story?
I started to consider it back when Bill Cassidy ran the first time. And after I saw all the lawfare, the legal lawfare against President Trump during the first term, with all the Republicans joining in that lawfare, trying to take President Trump down, I said I was sick of it. I'm tired of it. Then when they impeached him, I'd pretty much made my mind up. And this last time, when number one, you had the 2020 election stolen from President Trump. That is obvious. That is, you can count the ballots and see people bringing in ballots long after they were due. There was a lot of fraud in that election. There's also the issue where President Trump has consistently had to fight. I have never seen such lawfare against one man like President Trump, where they have tried to financially destroy him by his reputation, destroy his agenda. And this includes Republicans doing this. And then they attempted his life. And I'm done. I'm tired of these Republicans and these so-called rhinos, these left-wing nut jobs that are out here who want to destroy people. You can disagree with somebody, but you don't go after and destroy their lives.
Yeah, amen on that. We don't want anybody getting destroyed or their life taken.
Or their life taken.
Let's do this. We'll take a break. We'll come back for another segment and give you a chance to once again tell our audience what Dr. Sammy Wyatt is all about. Don't go away. This segment was brought to you by Rouse's Markets. Feels like home. All right, welcome back, and we're talking with Dr. Sammy Wyatt, and he is really a candidate to get into that Senate race, the one that Bill Cassidy is currently holding. And you're going to be watching the redistricting pretty hard.
Oh, yes, sir. I am watching it very hard, and I am glad the Supreme Court has taken this issue. We should have never, ever allowed gerrymandering in Louisiana or in any other state based on race. You should never allow it. We should do what the majority of the district is. That's how we said it. And where everybody's fair for everybody.
So let's let some people get to know who you are. Where'd you go to high school?
I was born and raised in Shreveport, Louisiana, graduated from Southwood High School. After I left high school, I went into the United States Navy, served my term in the United States Navy, came out, and like we discussed earlier, I went to work for Beard Industries about a year and a half, a little over a year. Went to the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office, stayed there, and I was told early in my career, if you want to go into law enforcement, you need to go where you had civil service protection. So I went to the Bossier City Police Department, which is where I spent the remainder of my career. During my time with Bossier Police, I had a great career. I spent 5.5 years on special weapons and tactics. Unlike one of my opponents who shoots guns and wants to act like he was a military veteran or a law enforcement officer, I was a law enforcement officer. We did drug raids. We did hostage situations. If it went really bad, that's what we did. And I did that for 5.5 years. I also specialized in crimes against children, sex crimes against children, trafficking of children, abuse and homicides of children, specialized in fraud, waste, and abuse, which is where I started my career in fraud, waste, and abuse. And then I have continued that for all these years.
We've done so many shows on the abuse of children and the trafficking of children. And God, I think we've all been glued to the Epstein, although sometimes when you hear the word Epstein now, you just want to turn to the TV. You're just tired of hearing it. But it's so important to get a handle on that. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think all the documents need to be released. The names of his clients need to be released. All the airplane flight logs need to be released. And look, just because people knew Epstein does not mean they are in the same league of Epstein. There's a lot of people who know people who have no idea. I've arrested police officers, 4 police officers in my career, police officers, preachers, teachers, youth ministers, the best of the best, well-known people in the community, politicians. I've arrested them all. And just because somebody knew them does not mean they're guilty or know what they're doing. Now, there is I have a concern about Bill Clinton, since Bill Clinton was wearing a blue dress on a picture in Epstein's house. That's kind of concerning. But just because, people want to criticize President Trump was a businessman. And I do not believe President Trump was implicated. If he would have been implicated, everybody should understand that the Democratic Party would have released all that information under Biden in the previous administrations. There's no way President Trump was implicated in that.
What are you hearing from the people when you Like I said, I met you at the Hero Fest. I saw you walking around. We were there covering it. And you know the public, they'll tell you exactly
No,
what's on their mind. What's on their mind?
what is on I have been so well received around the state of Louisiana. I've been north, south, east, and west, all over, because I represent all of Louisiana, not just part of Louisiana. I'm not going to stop at I-10. I'm not going to stop at I-49. I'm going to represent all of Louisiana. And everyone says the same thing. They are tired of career politicians. They are tired of Republicans who claim to be Republican. They're really Democrats. They are tired of the career politicians who hop from one position to another, who just like John Fleming did. And I like Dr. Fleming, great man. I really like him. But he needs to stay in his position where he is. We just put him in as a treasurer. And if he was to get elected, he'd be almost 76 years old when he starts the office. So there is no tenure. So people are tired of these career politicians going from one position to another, who want to lie, say one thing to get elected, do another once they get elected. Look at Blake Miguez. Blake Miguez is running for United States Senator here in Louisiana, one of my opponents. He supports the carbon capture sequestration. He supports the eminent domain, taking your property for these private companies' benefits. I don't support any of that. And matter of fact, I am going to fight it to my last breath. I'm tired of people being taken advantage of here in Louisiana, and that's what the citizens are wanting. They want somebody who will stand up with some ethics and integrity. And I know I don't compromise my ethics and integrity for anyone, and I don't bow my knees to anybody. I don't care if it's the governor, the president, whoever it is. I'm going to stand firm and fast in my faith in God, and I'm going to kneel only to God. Everybody else, I will fight hard. You know, I'm not a medical doctor. I have a PhD. Right. I earned that while I was with LSU. And my PhD is human resource education. And I know how to handle people, and I know how to deal with people. Conflict resolution is a major issue that we have to deal with. We have to get buy-in from everybody, but we don't compromise our ethics and integrities, and we don't sell out the people of the state of Louisiana. We represent the people that voted us in office.
We got about 50 seconds left, so real quick, lobbyists seem to be lurching on to everybody.
The lobbyists are lurching, the special interests, the Wall Street money, all of them are trying. And I'm the only outside candidate in this race. I'm not bought and paid for by anyone. You can look at every one of the other candidates in this race. They are all already bought and paid for. You know, I support oil and gas. I support oil and gas majorly, but I do not support carbon capture. We need to take it back to the table. It's harmful for the environment. It's harmful for the crops. It's harmful for everything. And if your family ever drinks it, it will kill them. So there's no amount of money in the world I'll take for that.
All right, Dr. Wyatt, we thank you for coming on. We appreciate you taking us up on our offer, and good luck. And if you ever in the area, drop by some more.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the invite, and I truly appreciate everyone's support.
All right, once again, we invite all candidates to come on and tell us your stance on things. Remember, catch this interview and all of them on Facebook and YouTube. This segment was brought to you by Buick. Exceptional by design.